hearts and our minds as we strive to hear your word.
I'm going to look to the back. Waitia, am I on? I'm good. Okay, great. Thank you, Sterling, for that introduction. Monica, my wife, sitting in the front row, so I'm a little bit nervous. You're going to heckle. Yeah, it's just like being at home. Today, our lesson will be on the book of Romans, and it will be Romans 12. And my hope is we'll break that verse or that chapter into two parts, and we have two films that coincide with those two parts. But before we start, I like to start with kind of an icebreaker, if you will. And since we're talking about films, my first question for everyone is, has anyone recently saw a film that they enjoyed and would recommend, and why? Anyone seen a film at all? Pidge is shaking her head. Allison. I want to dance with somebody. And is that a Netflix, or did you see anything? Ah, Whitney Houston. Yes. Yes. Okay, good. Yes, sir. Good. Avatar? And what did you enjoy about it? Great. I think, did you have a recommendation? Operation Mincemeat. Whoa. Oh, wow, that is interesting. Great. That title could have gone many different ways. Mary. Glass Onion, which is the second of the Knives Out series.
Really fun references to popular culture, half of which I'm sure I missed, but
Well, the reason that I asked that question is, as Sterling said, my father was a Presbyterian minister, and when he would preach, the thing that I enjoyed the most were the stories that he told. I mean, and truth be told, really, sometimes that was all I remembered about his sermons. But he prided himself on having stories. He called them illustrations, and he would always ask his fellow ministers, do you have any stories that you can share with me? And they would send them to him, and then he would have his assistant write them on these little note cards. And he put them in his little filing cabinet. Excuse me. And his father was also a Presbyterian minister, and his father was a Presbyterian minister. So he had, this family lineage, and he had all these friends. But I always wanted to get those cards because I thought those cards would be great for stories. So this is a bit of a self-deprecating story, but this really did happen, and Monica can verify it. So when my father retired, and he's in declining health, and he has some dementia issues, I asked him, could I get the filing cabinets that have your cards in them? And I mean, literally, there's thousands of them, and they're big. There's 3 big filing